Hey, what's up, everybody? We are seeing the prices come back down a little bit. I put out a video yesterday. We were expecting this, and we were looking at a fractal. Actually, BCB shared the fractal, and it was a really good fractal. Check this out. So you can see on the left here, we have Litecoin, right? We have this big expanded flat, big liquidation, right? We come back up, we kind of consolidate a little bit, pop the high, and then drizzle, 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 drizzle down, retesting these lows before ultimately that big parabola. So I think that could be what we see here, right? Obviously, we have this expanded flat right here, A, B, C. Same style liquidation right here, right? We come back up, play around a little bit, spike the high. Same thing here. Play around a little bit, spike the high, drizzle, drizzle, drizzle down to the lows. And that could potentially be what we're doing right now, is drizzling down to the lows before ultimately going much higher. So if you look at the current price, you could see we could potentially be doing that now, drizzling back down to the lows, playing around a little bit, coming back up, and then continuing higher. That's exactly what I said yesterday, and that's probably what we're going to see here. So this selling is normal, right? It's not too bad. It'll be interesting to see if we can even test it down here, right? You're starting to see a three-wave move develop. It could be a 4 and a 5, right, before it gets going. So again, if you look at Litecoin back over here, right, that's exactly what Litecoin did. Let's see if I could zoom in a little bit stronger here. You could see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we had a 5-wave move. And let's see, the 1, 2, 3, that first 3-wave move, what we're seeing now, came all the way back below the swing high, or below the top of the support level, right? So here's our base, right? That third leg came all the way practically in the middle of the base, came up in 3, and then slammed the low one more time, and then it continued higher. All right, so keeping that in mind, go back over here. So if that were going to repeat itself, we could see it. I don't think it's just going to drop straight down. I mean, it could. Obviously, we have Bybit, right? Bybit got hacked. It's not a big deal. I mean, it happens, and when it happens, things usually it marks some type of bottom or top, right? Remember when FTX got hit? We shouldn't compare FTX to Bybit, first of all, because FTX was a straight up scam, right? SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, he was a scammer. Bybit is a legitimate company to some extent, right? I mean, they got their problems, just like every other exchange. They're all pretty shady to some extent. However, they're not at the FTX level, right? So just because Bybit got hacked doesn't necessarily mean everybody should panic and sell and get out. It's just one of those situations. And actually, you have Ben here. He says, Bybit is solvent. Even if this hack loss is not recovered, all of the client's assets are one-to-one backed. We can cover the loss. This guy says, oh, same thing, Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF said the same thing, by the way. But look what Blockchain Backer said. He said it also marked the bottom, right? So if we are expecting this to be a bottoming process and sentiment is already in the gutter and people are already throwing in the towel, people are already extraordinarily bearish, people believe, oh, there's not going to be an all season, they're down in the dumps. And then all of a sudden we get hit with this stuff? Like it's like the cherry on top to solidify people's, realization that, it's game over. When in reality, it's most likely the beginning of, what's to come, right? Which is, in my opinion, will be upside. So, but the majority of the people have to be wrong, right? So if we look at, for example, like Matic, or let's go to Ethereum, let's use Matic as an example, right? So if you look at Matic, right? So we came down. We've been going down. Crypto's been going down since December, right? So all of December, all of January, all of basically most of February. That's 3 months, right? So think about the psychology here. We're going down for 3 months. Sentiment's already in the gutter. It looks like we're forming a base right here, right? Again, like I said, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm just using Matic as an example for sentiment. But think about the sentiment. We're already down in the dumps here, right? And basically what I said is, for this chart in particular, you got kind of like this little bear flag here. It's not uncommon when you have a big dump like this, you slingshot back to the upside, and then you drizzle, drizzle, drizzle down, and then you get a little bit of a spike, and then you slam the low, and then you continue higher, right? So we're somewhere like right here. In my opinion, I could be totally wrong. We could still have a lot more downside. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just using my what I see as my interpretation of what I believe is happening here. So I think this low is probably going to be taken out for Matic, right? Because in all honesty, we see some coins have a big retracement, then they drizzle down. They're further from their low, so they have much more wiggle room here. Where Matic doesn't really have a lot of wiggle room. And yet, it's still pretty much holding the lows here, which is actually pretty impressive. I thought it would have already broken down by now. But you could actually see a 5-wave move here getting developed. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So I think this could be the 5th wave of this entire move down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think the low is really, really close. And this Bybit hack, in my opinion, is actually a good thing because it's a news narrative to really push retail to the extreme of this isn't going to happen, throw in the towel. Because this is what the market maker special does. It's a reverse psychological trick on the retail, basically to shake out the weak hands, right? And you could say, oh yeah, it's easier said than done. It's easy to say that, but my portfolio, is hurting really bad, right? But again, like I said before, you shouldn't value your portfolio in dollars. You should value your portfolio based on how many coins you have, right? So if I have 100,000 XRP, for example, and I don't have that, but I'm just saying, if I did 100,000 XRP, okay, and you multiply that by $2, right? Or we'll say 10,000 XRP, multiply that by the current price. We'll just say it's 250, just be cool, right? That's $25,000, okay? That's what people are looking at. But just a little bit earlier, we were at $27,000. So my portfolio is down, right? That's the psychology of it. All right, but look at what number never changed. This number changed, this number changed, but what number did not change? This number. You still have your 10,000 XRP. You still have your 50,000, your 1,000, your 500. You still have your XRP. Nothing happened. The price is what changed, right? And you can say, well, that's what really matters is the price. And that's true. That is true. However, if you're an investor, if you're a long-term believer, if you have conviction of where it's ultimately going to go, that's what it's not really, that much of a big deal that, we're dropping. And for XRP holders, it's actually really good. But for Ethereum holders or even a Theta holder, I mean, they're feeling it a lot worse, right? But as long as you have the conviction that ultimately we will see all-time highs again. For example, let me go to Theta here and check this out. So I just put a members video out yesterday, and we talked about percentages and rotations, the things that really matter. And that was, that's still only the tip of the iceberg of what we're about to discuss. But I'm holding off because I need more information, and we're basically, just chilling right here. So again, retail, think about what happened here. All right. Don't let your emotions dictate your reasoning, because everybody's portfolio drives people's perspective and their emotions. But if you've been in the game as long as I have, you're going to have these days up and down, up and down. And we really didn't even go down. If you look, we haven't done anything. We're still at the bottom here. Nothing has changed. Bybit was hacked for what, over $1 billion? And look at Theta, it barely even flinched, right? It's not like we had a big disaster like we had back over here with FTX. I think it was, I can't remember which dump it was, right? But FTX actually collapsed, okay? That was a scam. It was a house of cards that collapsed. Bybit was just a hack, right? And it happens, they could be safer. They shouldn't have allowed that to happen. They could probably recover the funds. If they don't recover it, they can absorb it. So it's not that big of a deal, but it does rattle a lot of people. I personally don't use Bybit. And I certainly don't hold Ethereum on Bybit. And you shouldn't hold crypto on an exchange, guys. Don't hold any crypto on an exchange. Your crypto should be in your own possession. This is just a freaking signal to tell everyone, if you don't hold it, you don't know. And you could say, well, what about you? You have a lot of crypto. No, I have a derivative of the crypto, right? I have money on an exchange, my trading account, but it's in a futures contract, which means they're not real coins. I'm trading the derivative of the coin, right? Yes, but you still have the value there, but that value can't be liquidated unless somebody hacks my account personally, liquidates all the funds, and then withdraws it. But that's a lot of steps versus just going into a wallet and taking the actual coin. So it's a little bit different. And I think people are confused by that. But essentially, where I was going with that is, if I have, let's say I have, 10,000 Theta, right, up here, and then now I'm down here, well, guess what? I still have 10,000 Theta. It's not like I went down, right? The value of it went down, but I'm not here for the value for today. I'm here for the value of the future, because I know the value of it is not what I believe is going to be the ultimate value. And where is the ultimate value? Above this high. How long is it going to take to break that high? Whatever it is it is. Regardless, if I'm in Theta, the time is going to pass by. If I'm not in Theta, the time is still going to pass by. So you might as well be in it, right? I mean, we have really, I shouldn't say nothing to lose, but we don't have time to lose is what I mean. So ultimately, we have a rise, we have a crash. This looks like a retracement coming in here, probably go into reaccumulation, then we go sideways, and then we break out at a later day, right? But we still have all of this work to do. There's going to be choppy, up and down, up and down. But the point is, what is the overall direction? What is the overall goal for the investor, right? Most people are investors, right? They're not day traders. They have jobs. They earn a paycheck, right? Regular people. And they buy crypto and they hold it with the expectation of it going a lot higher. And that is the ultimate way how to win in this game. But if you buy crypto with the expectation of it going up immediately within a couple months or a couple days, and then it comes down and now you're below your price that you got in at, that can really have a negative impact on your psychology and make you ultimately sell because you got panicked and you got out, And then when we go back up, you get back in, and then it comes back down, and then you get back. So it's a washing machine. So, we come down, we go back up. 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 We come down. What comes next? Right? We should go back up. All right. So you never want to panic sell at the bottom. If you're going to sell, you want to do it in a retrace, right? So like this, like let's say I got in here and we wrote it up and I didn't sell. And then we came all the way back down and I'm like, man, I should have sold up here. I would have I could have prevented all of that. So then you wait, instead of selling here now, you wait for the retrace, and now there's your opportunity to sell. And that's what happened with a lot of people. They took the opportunity and they got out, and now we're back down at the lows, right? So these are where people are selling. These are where people are accumulating. So where are we? Are we at the point where you should sell, or are we at the point where we should buy? We're at the point where we should buy, right? This is buying opportunity. This is selling opportunity according to the range that we see, right? So, could there be more downside? Yeah, this could be, again, 1, 2, 3. This could be a 4, and then we could come down and get a 5. We talked about that. And maybe this Bybit whole scandal. I thought for sure the market would have sold off way more aggressively than it did, because Bybit's a major exchange, and it probably rattled a lot of people. And we did see the market sell off, but not. I thought it would sell off a lot more aggressively. But here's the thing: it's Friday, so I'm a little bit concerned for Saturday and Sunday. I think this Saturday and Sunday could be good buying opportunities, if not even today, right? Because here's the thing, I think we're close. You know what I mean? I think we're close. If you look at the daily chart and you look at theta, it looks perfectly normal. Like nothing really happened. Like it's all normal price behavior. It's not like Bybit got hacked and we had a massive like dump. This is just a little baby bump. And people are, it just happened not too long ago. So you got to give the market time to digest. You need at least 24, 36, 48 hours for people to understand what happened. I believe they're going to get the funds back. Maybe it might take some time, but ultimately I think people are okay, right? If it was my account and I got hacked, I would be very pissed off. I would feel devastated. And I've been there before. Trust me, I've been devastated multiple times. And it's not a good feeling. So, I don't even want to think about how sick you feel. Like, it is devastating. I blew my account, pretty much totally liquidated it. And I built up a lot of money, right? And basically, I lost in the ballpark of, I hate even saying it, but 6 figures, okay? And it was not a good thing. But does that make me throw in the towel and say, all right, I'm done? No, right? Because it was my own fault. And a lot of it wasn't even crypto. A lot of it was just like these passive income platforms. And basically, I got rug pulled. There's a new startup company. It was called Revenue 13, right? And basically, you get in, and it's like an arbitrage thing, or it was some kind of trading thing. It was all automated. And I threw a little bit of money in there, and that was a big rug pull. And there was another one called C12. That was a big rug pull. Right? And you thought I would learn my lesson. But then the other ones were just not using proper risk management. And this was back in the day. And yeah, it just totally destroyed my portfolio. But that's why we have a HODL position. That's why we have an investment position. That position will never be hurt. You can never, ever lose as long as you're not using leverage, right? You can never, ever, ever be liquidated. Ever. As long as you buy spot, Bitcoin, XRP, whatever. right? You own the coins. And this is another reason to take your coins off the exchange and buy a Ledger wallet or a Trezor wallet or an Exodus. Go to Google, type in Exodus wallet and download it, right? I've used that wallet in the past. I don't really use it anymore. I don't really have anything on there. But most of my stuff is on my Ledger and my Trezor and across other wallets that I won't disclose. But yeah, I think you should be spread out. Don't have all, like, let's say someone has 50 grand in crypto. Don't have that 50 grand all on one wallet. You should spread it out, because what happens if you lose your private key? What happens if something happened to that wallet, got corrupted? You want to spread out your crypto over at least a couple different wallets. You know what I mean? Maybe have a couple online wallets like Exodus or MetaMask, and then have a couple other ones like Trezor and Ledger. That way you are pretty much balanced. So if something were to happen, you know what I mean? It's all spread out. So this Bybit thing basically dumped the price very minuscule amount. I mean, look at this dump. 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 And then look at this little teeny thing. It's nothing, right? And again, this was a major event, right? And let me show you something here. On top of that, we had Coinbase. We had the SEC drop the Coinbase lawsuit, which is I think that's what was going on here. Let me see real quick. Yeah, so he says, great years. After years of litigations, millions of tax dollars, blah, 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 blah. We reached an agreement with the SEC so the day, think about that. This is like, there's no coincidences, guys. This is the deep state right here. Think about that for a minute. If Bybit was never hacked and Coinbase, you see what happened? Basically, it was a chess move, right? They put their chess piece in position, and then the deep state countered it with a Bybit hack. So you know the SEC is working with its deep state banker buddies, right? This was probably, a heist, right? Obviously it was, but it was more than just stealing the Ethereum. It was to counter, in my opinion, this is speculation, so don't take it as fact, but this is my opinion. This was a counter move by the deep state in order to counter the good news of what we just seen with Coinbase. Because think about it. If we woke up Friday morning and Coinbase comes out and says, good news, the SEC dropped our lawsuit, the prices probably would explode, right? Because now Coinbase is no longer under litigation. We're starting to see real good improvements with the SEC. We know that Trump, the administration, is doing the good thing, not the bad thing when it comes with crypto and getting everything figured out as far as regulations and working with within the confines of the law, right? So, good things. The price probably would have went pretty high today under that news, but the deep state, maybe somebody countered that with the Bybit hack. So, you see what I'm saying? So somebody played their card. The good guys played their card. They got this good news. And then on top of it, we had a big fat bad news to sort of block, the attempt of trying to reverse the market. Because there's bad guys out there that don't want the prices to go up. They want the prices to go down. And who is that? People who are in competition with each other, right? Like, who is the biggest competitor? The central banks. They don't like DeFi. They don't want decentralized finance. They want centralized finance under their banking institutions, right? They don't want you doing it on your own. They're the middleman, and we don't want the middleman. We want to cut out the middleman, right? And that's what crypto is. Crypto is a samurai sword to the middleman. That's basically what it is. And that's why we see all of these things happening, right? So anyways, but here's what I'll say. Why didn't they drop the Ripple case first? Why did they drop Coinbase, right?
Ripple has been through the trenches way harder than Coinbase, spent way more money than Coinbase, fought way harder, longer, and deserves it way more than Coinbase. Ripple got hurt way more than Coinbase ever did, right? They should have been the first case to be dropped. Day one, the SEC comes in, they should have dropped the Ripple case instantly. Why is it still going on? What's going on behind the scenes? Why did they drop Coinbase first? You see what I mean? So I think it was a good thing, not a bad thing. I think they're saving that. That is, if the SEC dropping the Ripple case is going to be a big thing, right? But the chart, right, the price of XRP is not fully in position yet, right? So, if let's say, we start coiling up in here, or actually the fractal, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We come up here, kind of go sideways a little bit, start to push up, and then we start breaking out. And then that's when they drop the case. That would be much better, because now we already have momentum on our side, versus dropping the case down here in the dumps. You might get a big pump to the upside, but then it'll just drizzle back down. So in my opinion, because it's all about ammunition, people realize that whatever we do, we can have a big influence on price. Meaning, do I drop the case today? Do I drop the case next week? Do I wait until we break the high and then drop the case? If it was up to me, I would wait until XRP got close to this line and started breaking out. And then that's when I would drop the case, because that would give us the biggest price blast possible, as opposed to dropping it down here when the structure is not complete, because it's all about structure, right? It's not complete. So anyways, that's my rant for today with the whole Bybit situation. I wouldn't take it too seriously, right? Crypto has been dead how many times? Like 2 million times, right? Every time there's a hack, every time there's a BitConnect or an FTX. I mean, it's not even the same scale as that. Or, Coinbase IPO or any type of event usually marks a bottom or a top. And in this case, it may have marked the bottom for a lot of these altcoins, right? If we go to ADA, for example, and we look at this here, right? We had a big impulse and a 3-wave pullback, a major liquidation event. Now we're building our base. And right at the low, right when sentiment is in the gutter, that's when we had this Bybit hack, right? It didn't happen when prices are exploding. It happened when prices are in the dumps. That's what happens, right? You get bad news at bottoms and you get good news at tops. When we're at the top of the market, like let's say, this is a 1, 2, 3-way pullback, and we come up here, and then we had a big piece of good news like an ADA ETF, well, then I would be really worried that the top would be in. You know what I mean? So the fact that it happened at the bottom is a good thing. This is good. And check this out. Even BCB, even myself, we're some kind of something usually happens when you're at the end of a phase. Like it could be a wave 1, right? And a wave 1 could take, or a wave 3 could take, maybe 4 months. And then the wave 4 takes another several months, right? It's a big, sort of area in the market. And a lot of times you get news events that sort of mark the tops, mark the bottoms. But anyway, he said, I said in a video last week that I pondered what would happen to create the ultimate sentiment trash. I think he meant crash, and he theorized ideas, but here it is, your news to panic about. Yeah, and that's true. Bybit has passed the peak of withdrawal surge, right? So people were withdrawing. On a positive note, with the withdrawals from Bybit, is that a lot of capital has stepped further away from touching leverage. Okay. So anyway, that's pretty much it. And you could see here, this was that fractal I shared yesterday. Look at this. It's actually playing out perfectly. So shout out to him.
That's where I subscribe to his channel. He's great at identifying these fractals and structures. So definitely utilize them in my own trading. But here's the thing. I can't, I'm a day trader, so I have to have much more than that, right? So that's why we do Elliott wave, and we try to count and make sense of these complicated structures. So, anyways, let's give it 24 hours. Let's see how the market digests this. You could see, look at ADA. We're still at the top here, right? And you could see how we came all the way up. Well, we could still come all the way down. It could take another 3 weeks of downside. We could go down for the next 3 weeks and retest this wick 50%, and have some kind of three-way pullback and still be very bullish, right? You see what I mean? So don't think that it could be over. I mean, it could be, but yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see, right? Because again, here's your big wave right here, right? And we already came down and we tested it a little bit. We shot up and then we kind of went sideways. This to me looks a little bearish, right? This the way it's ranging. See, I would much rather have it drop down and then range down here. Boom, 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 boom. But it went up and now it's ranging up here because this range would break up. To me, this range should break down and then do something like that. So, yeah, if we can kind of drizzle down a little bit and flag out, that would put us in a good position here. So, yeah, I think dollar cost averaging is a good strategy in this area, right? So you hit the low a little bit, hit the low a little bit, hit the low a little bit, hit the low, buy a little bit more, right? Maybe we come up in 3 and then tag the low, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, let's start here with Bitcoin. Right? Bitcoin still has not taken out this low, which is a good thing. You can see we came up and we came down in 3. We spiked the high and now we're coming back. So this could be an A, B, C. So this could be a 1 and a 2, right? Maybe go sideways a little bit and then start to come back up. So we'll see. If we just drop through the floor, then we'll just reevaluate. But I don't think that's what's happening. I think, we could take this low out, but I want to see how the rest of the day develops. Let's take a look at a couple other charts here. Like you can see HBAR have an impulse. You have a 3-wave pullback. And then if we look closely, it looks kind of like I don't like this impulse here. It looks corrective to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe this is an A, and then we come up a B and then a C. I just don't like it though. I just think more along the lines like this is, just coming up against this trend line here. So probably just need to build a base in here, build some structure, right? Instead of going down, then up, then down, right? We need to cool off. We need it to sort of just flatline a little bit. And that'll help the market a lot, right? So, let's see how that plays out. But I think where we are right now is in a good spot. Again, when in doubt, zoom on out. And when we do zoom out, right, let's turn the sequential on, by the way. Let's see, don't we have a 9 on here? Yeah, so we had a 9 on the previous candle, right? We're trading below that, which is okay, right? So a lot of times you'll get a 9 and you'll just trade here for several candles, right? And you see these red dots right here? You'll have several of these red dots. And then once we break above those red dots, if we break above them, it'll activate that 9 buy. And it'll be a good thing, right? So let's see. Where's the bull market support? Look at that. We're currently testing the bull market support band. This is a good thing. So just think about it like this. We have a massive impulse, right? We have a 3-wave pullback, and we're on a 3-day 9, and we're back testing the bull market support band. I mean, you can't